Morning, buddy. My name is Khalil. Can you please tell me your full name?
Good morning, sir. My name is Fu Zhiyong, but you can just call me Zhang.
Zain, in this first part, I'd like to ask you some question about yourself. Let's talk about where do you live? Do you live in a small town or a big city?
Right now, I'm actually living in this big city, which is right next to the mega city, Shanghai, where it only takes around half an hour's train ride to get there. Yeah, it's called Suzhou.
What do you like most about living there?
I like I like the facilities it offers. The malls. Sometimes when you get bored, you can just wandering around and doing some window shopping, and also the parks. Everything. I love the here.
Do you think you would like to stay in this place for a long time?
Yes, I'll probably stay here for 1 or 2 more years, just try to save up some money, and then I'll eventually thinking about doing my PhD. Yeah, that's something on my list.
Let's move on. Let's talk about borrowing and lending. Have you ever borrowed books from other people?
Yes, I have, but many just it was in the past. When I was like a primary school student, we would go to the library, the school libraries, to borrow some books from librarians in the school, and we would read those translated version of those great literatures. I remember we got some books from the Russian literatures and also English ones. Yeah, but they were all in Chinese.
And has anyone ever borrowed money from you?
Yes, it doesn't really happen that often, but I did actually borrow some money back when I think when we were like in college, where we're kind of like broke, and sometimes, a friend of mine would borrow some money to buy something, and I would just, lend them some.
Do you like to lend things to other people?
Well, it really depends on what kind of thing we're talking about here. If it's something that is too personal, for example, a phone, I wouldn't necessarily want to do that. But if it's something that is not that personal, why not? Yeah, I like to help people.
And how do you feel when people don't return things that they have borrowed from you?
Well, definitely I would feel annoyed. I think it's not nice. And then I don't like confrontation, so I would just subtly kind of like hinting them that they need to return something they borrowed from me. Yeah, I wouldn't like say it like directly, like, hey, you need to return something or no. I wouldn't do that.
Let's move on. Let's talk about stories. Did you like listening to stories when you were a child?
Yes, I did. Back when I was a little kid, my parents were pretty busy, but I had an older sister who would, read some bedtime stories to me. Those Chinese folk stories that she would read to me. And yeah, I love it.
And nowadays, do you prefer listening to stories or reading them?
Good question. I love listening to audiobooks. I feel like I don't know. I feel like it requires a lot if you have to sit down and read a book yourself. But while you're listening to audiobooks, you get to do some other things. You can multitask, like cleaning your room and stuff. I just feel like I can't really sit down for a while and just read. It would be a little bit boring for me.
Would you ever consider writing a book?
Wow, no, I would never really consider that. I think being a writer, you sort of have to be very observant, and you have to sort of like sensitive to the environment, and also you have to be critical.
Okay, we will go to part 2 tomorrow. Okay, bye.